So I want to talk today about the loss of a brother firefighter. This will be a tough video. Just learned that a friend of mine, a brother firefighter, who I had known since 1980, just recently passed away. Far too soon, but I guess at our age we're closer to the end than we are the beginning. His name was John Vincent Pinatero, or Guppy, as we affectionately called him. For those of you who've been in the fire service, you know that if you hang around the firehouse long enough, you're probably going to get a nickname, especially if people like you. So his nickname was Guppy. Long story how he got that. Won't go into that here. I first met Guppy in 1980. My dad had just had a very serious heart attack, was in the hospital. Not sure if he was going to survive. I was at the hospital with my mom, and I just needed a break. So I went down to the hospital cafeteria, and I sat at a table sitting by myself, having a soda or a snack or something, just kind of wondering where life was going to go next and not feeling really good. I think Guppy worked there. Anyway, however he got there, he saw me and he walked up to me and he said, "Hey man, you okay?" And I said, no, I'm really not. And I started talking to him and telling him why I was there and everything. And somehow or another we got on the subject of being in the fire service, and I had mentioned that I was in the fire department before but had to take a break, and so on and so forth. And he says, why don't you get back into it? I said, I don't know. And he said, look, I'll tell you what, come to my firehouse. I'll let you know what night I'm going to be there. You can do a ride along with us, hang out with us, and if you like it, join. What have you got to lose? Well, he was right. I went, hung out with him and the crew. We became a crew, actually, a bunch of us new guys. We all hung out together, all knew each other, and I'll post a picture of us in all our 1980s glories with the pastel suits and the wide lapels and everything. But we became a very tight-knit group. We formed that bond that you form as a firefighter. You're going through hell together. You're running some horrific calls, and you count on each other. Those are bonds that, as I'm talking now, they can last years, they can last decades, they can last an eternity. So anyway, Guppy was kind of the leader of the pack. He was the officer, and we ran so many calls together, some horrific calls, some funny calls. A couple that come to mind are, we had a house fire one night, and it was fire in the basement. And for those of you who don't know, fire in the basement, any type of basement fire is bad. It's a very terrifying fire because it's going to be hot. And if something goes wrong, there's usually only one way out. So it could be really, really bad. Anyway, I was on the nozzle, Guppy was behind me, and we were advancing line into the room where the fire was, and we started knocking the fire, and everything was going great, and all of a sudden, just water everywhere. I mean, it was like we were hit by a tidal wave. We didn't know what the hell happened. We're screaming through our masks, trying to figure out what the hell happened. Figured the hose burst. That was the only thing we could figure out. So, instantly all the water put the fire out. Of course, it generates tons of steam, and we're getting cooked because of the steam. It's getting hotter than hell, and you can't see anything. So we backed out, and we finally figured out afterwards that there was a water bed in that room, and the heat caused it to burst. We laughed so hard about that. 1980s waterbed, go figure. But it put out the fire, and we had a good laugh. Oh, this is tough. The memories just keep coming back. I don't even know where to start. We ran a motorcycle accident one night, and it was a pretty horrific accident. I think Guppy was in the back of the rescue squad with me, or he was on the ambulance. I can't remember. But we get to the scene, and we had a motorcycle off the side of the road. It was pretty well torn up. We had a guy screaming up in the bushes. Obviously, he was really, really injured. And we had a guy laying in the middle of the road, and someone told us, hey, take care of the guy in the middle of the road. The paramedics are taking care of the guy up in the bushes. So we went over and I was talking to the guy in the middle of the road. He was conscious. And he said, I asked him what happened. He says, man, I fell out the back of a pickup truck. And I thought, okay, we got a head trauma here. Because back then, Maryland didn't have their motorcycle laws. You didn't have to wear a helmet. So we figured, okay, he bashed his head. He's definite head trauma. So we started treating him as such. And he kept on saying, no, man, I swear to you, I fell out the back of a pickup truck. And we're like, you're okay, you're okay. We're taking care of your buddy. You're both on a motorcycle, yada, yada, yada. Well, come to find out later, he was telling the truth. He fell out the back of a pickup truck. Apparently, a pickup truck with a bunch of kids in the back slowed down to take a look at the accident, and I guess the driver freaked out, and this guy happened to be leaning over the back of the pickup truck. Driver of the pickup truck freaked out, floored it, dumped his buddy out on the road, and took off. They didn't come back for him, so damned if the guy wasn't right. He fell out the back of a pickup truck. Nice friends. So many calls. We had a house fire over in PG County that we ran mutual aid to, and we were on the rescue squad, so they already had the fire knocked. And when we got there, we started doing salvage and overhaul in the room that had the fire. It was a bedroom. And, we were tossing things out the window, extinguishing any of the burning embers and stuff like that, and tossing all the burned stuff out. And we uncovered this dead cat. Now, I know here where all the keyboard warriors are going to go after me, but keep in mind, this was 40 years ago, and we were basically kids. So we're like, what the hell do we do with the dead cat? So one of us got the brilliant idea, let's toss him out the window. So we did, grabbed him, tossed him out the window, and we decided to take a break right after that. And as we were walking out the house, we heard all this yelling and screaming outside, and it was a PG County fire chief, and he was yelling, who the hell, what son of a bitch threw that dead cat on me? I'm gonna kick their ass. And he walked right by Guppy and Guppy and I were looking at each other like, oh shit. So we just kept on walking, and he ran inside the house, and he was gonna kick somebody's ass, and boy, he was pissed. So, oh my God. We laughed about that so hard. A lot of memories, and they keep coming back. Sorry. It's just tough. It's tough when you lose a brother firefighter, even if you haven't talked to them for a long time. The bond's still there. Bond will always be there. So Guppy, I know you're listening. You're probably laughing. You're probably saying, get your act together. You're missed, brother. You really are. You touched a lot of people's lives. You probably didn't realize it, but you absolutely touched my life, and you shaped my future. And for that, I'm grateful. You are missed. You are loved. So those of you who have watched this, I appreciate it. Tell the people that are around you that you love them. Let somebody know that you care about them and that they have touched your life and made a difference. God bless you all. Stay safe. Out.